Hey, what's up, guys? This is Church of Caboose, and we are trying a new kind of a thing. For now, we're calling it the Knights of the Venge Table. Because I don't know, it's like a podcast deal. Because we got some fun stuff. Some clanmates are bringing up this whole raid as being on November 21st, and we thought it'd be kind of fun to share thoughts because we were in Discord and people had different ideas. Like I was like, oh, I bet this is why. Some of these other guys were like, oh, we bet this is why. So we thought it'd be kind of fun to do like a podcast video. So I am your host, and I'm gonna pull up the roster so you guys can see all the other folks. And we're gonna pull up their names here. So we are joined with King of Hearts, Stealth O Viking, True Stealth, HXX, WRB Goalkeeper, and that is our group for today. So the main topic is going to be the release of the raid for Beyond Light on November 21st, and we're going to be talking about that. Why is this a big deal, and our thoughts for why it might be later than normal. But before we get on into the actual video, if you do enjoy this, comment down below, because maybe we'll turn this into like a weekly thing, and it's kind of a fun way to use our clan to hang out together and try to be creative as a group. So make sure you guys are commenting, and if you would like to be a part of the Vengeful Clan, let us know down below, and we'll make sure we get you guys a Discord invite. Now, if you subscribe to the channel, you get to be in the server without having to be in the clan, so that is an option as well if you just want to expand your LFG or just test it out. And then finally, I have an affiliate thing going on with Redcon1. And so if you guys want to try and get 20% off of something cool like this new deal, they got War Games, which I'm sipping on right now. It's like a focusing kind of a deal. Then use my link or the code in the description box and get 20% off. Woo, managed to keep that under 3 minutes, gents.
Really? Your intro's under 3 minutes? That's what you're going for?
It used to be more like 5, so considering I capped that intro, was just explaining what we're doing. So I guess the first thing we should go with is 21st, because Beyond Light starts on November 10th. So I guess why we think people are like, oh my gosh, that's so much time. Because I have two theories, and number one is the new power cap is, at least for the raid anyways, is 1,230. And our current is 1,200 or 1,060. So that's a huge bump. Well, and then I also figuring it's for subclass, the stasis stuff.
Well, is it 230? Because I thought it was 260 was the actual cap.
I've got, for the raid, for the day one. Day one, like, you're capped at 1230. The hard cap itself might be 1260.
The raid cap itself is 1250? Like, the actual power recommended in this contest? No,
The contest cap is 1230.
The contest cap,
but that takes 20 off, and so you could surmise it's going to be 1250 normally.
Yeah, because they want to keep you. They want to keep you 20 below the rating.
Yeah. So I guess why do you guys think they wanted to push it back so far? Because usually the raid comes out in that first week. It went from being on Fridays normally, and then they switched it for Shadowkeep to Saturday. And this one's also on a Saturday. So why do you guys think they pushed it back like 2 weeks?
I have a couple
instead
of
of it being on the first week. All right, let's hear one of them.
My first one, and I think the most pertinent one, I think, is just because of the world state and COVID and all that. They won't really want to give time for their teams, especially if they still have telework people to, kind of grind out the nitty-gritty of it, make sure it's balanced, make sure it doesn't break. So that way people can get in all the time on servers, it's just that extra, networking time just to make sure everything's smooth. So that's my first theory, and the most boring one.
Gotcha. So make sure the raid actually goes off well.
Yeah. That's the most boring one, at least. The more interesting one is just that there actually might be so much content since Europa is going to be the focus of that week, or those 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah, it's about 2 weeks of content. We're just gonna have so much content. We're gonna be overflowing with stuff since we haven't really heard almost nothing about beyond light, except for besides the constant vaulting and the subclasses. We don't really know, like the dungeon. We don't know about anything about the overworld map. Just absolutely nothing, really.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hold up real quick. Hey, goalkeeper, don't forget to have yourself muted if you got like talking, like, because everyone's got stuff going on in their house. Don't forget. That's it. Yeah, because of maintenance, and that's a good point. I was wondering if cheating was going to be a thing. I know there's been lots of folks that have been like cheaters are going to dominate because they've already said they're competing in worlds first, and so I was wondering if they're pushing it back at all to make sure they could be on top of that. What do you guys think?
I don't necessarily think that it's gonna be because of cheaters, particularly. I think it's gonna be more along the lines of, they want to like you had said earlier with making sure the raid actually runs as intended. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. Because with stasis, isn't like the hunter grenade supposed to be able to make walls or something? So I'm sure that adds in a whole bunch of making sure you can't just skip shit. I would bet.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's just the hunter grenade. It might be multiple grenades that do that.
Oh yeah, it could be every class. Yeah, it could be every class. Yeah,
So.
I hope so. Because I was like, oh boy, then we're gonna have it where you have to have at least one hunter that doing this kind of thing. All right, so here we go on into Mayhem real quick. So it's a quick sidebar. We're going to be trying to play stuff as we go. So this is an episode where you get to watch Church of Caboose try to think, talk, and play at the same time. It's like Peter Griffin trying to chew and walk gum, or walk and chew gum, chewing. Prime example. We're not even playing yet.
God
So
damn it!
anyone else have God damn it, what an idiot. Anyone else have any ideas or theories before we start trying to rip them as to why they're either maybe right or wrong?
I think it's not necessarily the power gap you have to do, but more with the super, because I just looked up the dates for like the previous expansion releases and the raid releases, how close they were to each other, to get a perspective of what it was like. So with Forsaken, that released on September 8th, and then Last Wish released a week later on September 14th, and that expansion too also had a 200 power gap. So having a week to get the 200 power is understandable, because people may not have had time because it was during the school year too. It's like prime start of school, so that was reasonable.
That was actually my main idea. Was usually these world first attempts are dominated by the streamers and whatnot, because understandably the ones that make money are the ones that can do things like get to max power and whatnot in 4 days, whereas the rest of us are either having to take off work or just like, you know what, it's not even worth trying. There's no way at all we'll be able to even be close to high enough power to try. So that was my other idea, was maybe so people can power up and then the subclass, because I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of unlocking and grinding for stasis, so then you got time to do that for whatever your character's going to be.
Yeah, like they said.
Maybe this stuff is going to be coming from the raid.
Maybe there's going to be what coming from the raid?
This is going to come from the raid.
Oh yeah.
There are some.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
alright,
joining.
Oh, okay.
There are some sockets where you are going to, edit your super and all that. Maybe they are coming from the raid.
I
Oh
would bet
yeah, the
some
aspect.
will come from the raid. Like, there's going to be something, because when we first got all the new supers with Forsaken, wasn't there a thing where you had to get, like, it's been so long, like those like seeds of light?
Yeah, the Seed of
or
Light.
whatever, and then
one of them was from. I want to say one of them was from Blindwell going to Mara, and the other one was another one was from the raid. I do remember that.
Yeah, so I could see there being aspects of stasis that are unlocked, and I do know that they said there's going to be like, materials or something like that to enhance different aspects of your super, or to like customize it more, or something of that nature. And I would imagine there'd be stuff like that from the raid. I'm not sure that they would be delaying a start date just because the raid is coming out, and so stasis, because people would already have stasis. But it could be so people can fine tune stasis. That could be a thing.
Do remember that
Experiment with
the
builds.
first date there might be some extras to the raid itself.
Looks like it's gonna be ass for like
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of ideas, I guess, as to why
Yeah,
they'd be doing it.
to continue off that, because I also looked up Garden versus Shadowkeep, and Garden only released 3 days after Shadowkeep dropped, so you didn't have much time at all to level up there. So
No.
That's pretty normal.
Wasn't there
Last
also
Wish
a
was Friday?
sorry.
No, I was saying that time frame's typical. Like usually, so you got the big expansions on a Tuesday, and then for the most part, it's either Friday, and then now it's Saturday, like of that same week. So you get like 4 days
Yeah.
or 3 days
I was
to
saying this-
power up.
Last Wish you had a week versus Guardian you had 3 days, so it's more going towards the supers probably and the current like COVID thing, and because they're probably thinking people are gonna have less time to be able to get the power up in such a short amount of time with the current situations, plus having to fine tune a new super, because with the Forsaken supers there really wasn't. Yes, you had to unlock them, but there wasn't as much of a customization option, so it wasn't much fine tuning as there is going to be with Stasis, trying to figure out which artifacts, not aspects and fragments to get.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
that's the thing that somebody was also mentioning. It was that a lot of the aspects and fragments, or not a lot of them, but some of them actually had basically almost exotic quality perks to them. So it's possible that instead of trying to find a new exotic to fit with your stasis build, it's going to be trying to find that right fragment or aspect to actually be able to pull off a build that you're looking to do.
I mean, to be fair, they also said the same thing about mods, like seasonal, like the seasonal mods were supposed to have exotic like qualities to them, but I feel personally, I feel like they don't really. So I'm just wondering, what is hyperbole on Bungie's part? Just trying to sell us, the experience versus actual fact.
Well, so it wasn't directly from Bungie that said that the aspects and fragments are going to have exotic like qualities to them. I think I want to say it was another YouTuber, but I can't remember off the top of my head now. But no, they showed a screenshot of when the stasis like submenu was originally revealed, and it was like one of the aspects that were equipped was for a warlock, saying like how when you drop your well, it'll release a burst of stasis energy, and how that's very similar to the one warlock exotic, the Vesper Radius.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
So
Yeah,
it wasn't directly
yeah.
from Bungie that said that.
Let's hope we don't get one like the Stag or something like that. Just that bad.
I wouldn't say the stag is bad.
It's just not very useful. You don't
Look
want to
how
go around trying to kill yourself against
Well,
the.
Well, that mods brings up a interesting thing, because obviously people want to mess with builds for exotic weapons, but the mod system's completely changing. Like I would have figured, like normally part of the grind with the mods would be, okay, now I gotta get this arc armor piece because I want to use this mod, and so I have to farm for that. But now it's any of the armor pieces will fit on anything, right? Isn't that,
Almost.
or did I misunderstand that? And so that gets rid of some of that grind, because now it doesn't matter what your armor piece is on. But does that mean we have to refarm our armor? Because now I'm wondering if, like, because unless all the armor that's 2.0 gets wiped to being, like, where it could do all those, like, no longer arc or void, would we have to refarm for armor that we maybe were just doing, trying to get ready for something like a day one raid? What do you guys think? Do you think we'll get to keep our current stuff, or do we have to absolutely get new things like with stat rolls and whatnot?
I'm sure we'll be able to keep our stuff, but it depends where the meta shifts. I think whether or not we'll have to, because I mean, of course, we're gonna need the new content. We're gonna need the new armor. That's the point of the DLC is to make us want the new stuff. It's how they keep the old stuff relevant. I guess is more the question of what we were looking at forward to, because you have Beyond Light players, and they need to cater to them as well, and they need to make sure that they're not getting left behind just because they're not paying for content. So I guess it really comes down to like how Bungie plans on balancing the free to play aspect versus the paid aspect of it.
Yeah, my guess with that type of look, talking about the free to play versus the pay to play aspect of the thing, overall, my guess is that it's gonna be more of a what was it? It was my guess is that I thought the raid was accessible to anybody that had the DLC, correct? That was the thing. Okay.
And with Game Pass, you don't have to pay for it at all, which is another topic that people are upset about.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess you are still technically paying for the game in some sense, because you do still have to pay for the membership to Game Pass. But if you ever stop paying for Game Pass, or if Game Pass ever takes Destiny off of it, you then now have to go back and rebuy all of that stuff, or not rebuy, but buy it actually for the first time.
Well, I doubt they'll shaft everyone and make everyone work for all this stuff, and then one day it's not on Game Pass anymore. Well, I guess you can't use your I don't know. Let's Mindbender's Ambition. They'll just lock it into your vault, and you can't use it until you rebuy Forsaken or something. So I'm sure what'll end up happening is they'll just eventually make that content just free. Because, like you said, if it ever did come to the point where they just remove it from Game Pass, I just don't see them locking you out of content either. That would just completely jade their base.
Well, but there is also.
I could be wrong. I can't imagine too many free-to-play folks are trying to do worlds first or day one clears, and so.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't put it past it either, because you have LFDs who just end up getting worlds first too.
That's true. There was an LFG from Eater of Worlds. They got worlds first.
Yes, they did. But I think more what you're going to see more with the influx of free-play players with Beyond Light is you're probably going to end up seeing a lot more people just starting out for the first time, and so you're probably not going to be seeing those guys get into the raid race. Not to knock them or anything, some of them might not, but my guess is that you're not going to be seeing a lot of them trying to get in for the raid race.
That's a good point. There is a chance that Bungie's pushed it back like that, because if they're anticipating a slew of brand spanking new players because of the Xbox Game Pass or whatever other reason, they might feel like it wouldn't be fair if they only had 5 days to try to get on the nuance level of veterans.
Right. But it could also
That's a
just
good
be
point.
too that the free-to-plays won't even break it, but some might not.
All right. Well, did anyone else have any kind of last thoughts they wanted to share, or does everyone kind of feel like they had a chance to say what they were wanting to?
I just wanted to circle back to the supers real quick. Let's just start something.
Go for it.
Because, ever since Destiny 1, these are going to be the first truly new supers. Because, the first ones, those weren't even really brand new supers. They were just additions. Whereas this one is a new whole element and a whole new customization element that we even Destiny 1 didn't see. Because we all remember how customizable Destiny 1 supers were with all the different aspects. But these ones are truly new ones because they don't have set. There's not set elements that you have automatically just from leveling up. You have to go out and get all these different aspects and fragments, which also takes additional time versus just leveling up super.
And balancing.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see if my theory of pushing it back because the full-time people who make money off of this and whatever, have a huge advantage in 4 days and maybe not as much over 3 weeks, if that will hold true, or if the grind is still really insane and it doesn't really matter how much time you had, it's still the equivalent. Like, that will be interesting to see.
Well, remember this one thing with the Festival of the Lost, they actually fixed one of the drop issues on the first day, and then they changed it back. I think it was the fourth day after it launched. So what is going to happen probably they're going to actively patch everything, every exploit and everything before the raid starts.
Oh, yeah.
That
Are you thinking they'll like open them back up? So like challenge day, no exploits, and they'll be like, oh, okay, now we'll let the exploit come back for the second day.
No, more like, for example, let's say the new supers make the raid a lot easier, or I don't know, it works or glitch out with certain weapons and stuff like that, and they just fix it. They issue a small fix for it, and then for the raid you'll have a balanced super and everything would be working ideally, right?
Oh, gosh. So you're saying that maybe they're doing it to make sure, like, if a stasis thing is absolutely insane and not what they wanted, they have time to be like, nope, and yank it back.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's a good point too.
Yeah, that is a great point, especially after seeing like
I
some
hadn't
of
thought
like
about
the. Sorry, Church.
Well, that's all. I hadn't thought about that with like weapons or supers if they're actually trying to make sure they're not having something crazy busted for the raid.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense.
They might also not, because whenever they introduce like a new thing that drops that you can farm, people always find an exploit to farm them faster, like they did with Umbrella and Crimson at the beginning of the season. So they
That's
might
true.
end up being the same way for the aspects and fragments, that they don't want them dropping as often as they could if people find an exploit. So they might want to change that back before the raid drops.
All right, that's another good point. So it would seem like maybe in conclusion, there's a lot of ideas that it seems like as a group, right, the best ones that we can think of are to make sure the raid it goes how it's supposed to, balancing issues, and maybe to try and give new light players and non-full-time Destiny players a hope at being able to grind enough to have some fun with it, along with the people who make money.
Yeah.
Does that kind of sound about what everyone's thinking?
Yep.
Seems
Yes.
fair enough.
All right. Well, in that case, thank you guys all so much for joining us on the first episode of the Knights of the Venge Table. Again, name could change. It's just what we got for now. We had fun. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Let us know down below if you want to see more stuff like this. We can make this a more often thing. So I'm assuming they would all be into it. And to give us some ideas, because this is my first time trying to do like a podcast type thing. I figure if Cactus and all of them can do it, then why not try it and have some fun? All right, guys, this has been The Round Table. Thank you all so much for watching. Oh, last thing. This is me trying to play. If we hit 600 subscribers by October 20th, you get a special video of my dog. Hey, Winnie, you want to come up here? You know what? Come here, baby bears. Up here. Oh, yeah. This is her. Oh, look at the little corgi. You get to see more of this beautiful little face. And if we get 1,000 subscribers by November 2000 or November 20th, then maybe she'll get like a little dog box thing, and it'll be super cute, and you get to see more of her. Thank you guys all so much for watching. All right, this is The Round Table. Have a great week and happy grinding, y'all.